Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 17 of Call to the Pen. Today, we're going to talk about where teams are in the standings since we chatted about them a week ago, the bullpens. Got some questions on that you guys sent in, so we're thankful for that. And I'm just going to touch on a little bit on what young pitchers can learn from certain ABs. I won't give the details right now, so I'll make you watch it. What at bat we're gonna talk about. So, anyways, yeah, Kent, what's been on your mind over the last week?
Well, the wild card race is getting crazy. The Braves just went and showed how dominant they are. You go into LA and you win 3 out of 4, and some of them were absolute dominant games.
Yep.
The Diamondbacks are holding on for dear life. The Reds are holding on for dear life. And I just feel like the Padres just keep letting games slip away because they're just not giving them a great chance to win. Steve, they are 6-26 in one-run ball games.
It's tough. That explains the run differential, right? They're plus 60 run differential, and the 4 teams that are ahead of them: San Fran minus 10 differential, Miami minus 44 differential, Cincinnati minus 34, and then Arizona minus 24 run differential. It's insane.
Yeah,
one-run ball games.
One-run ball games. When they lose, they lose. Obviously, like they're not. It seems like I think I read a quote from Soto a couple weeks ago. He goes, "They just don't fight. When they're behind, they just don't fight back very much. So when they lose big time, and when they lose close ones, they don't. They just can't pull it off.
Gut-wrenching. It's like almost if it's a one-run ball game, they're down 1, they just know they're going to lose. That feeling. Like, how do you get over that?
So that brings me back to what we talked about last year with firing the manager. Is that a manager just like you not bring fight to the team?
I mean, I think
you don't make the right moves in the tight games. So what good are you?
Yeah, but if you got guys that actually believe that, is that inherent in them? Like Soto comes from a World Series championship team, and he was a rookie that year, and so he knows what second year. That's right. I'm sorry, it's the second year. He knows what it takes to win a World Series. He saw the core group of guys. Not to mention, a team that was down and out. They were counted out in like May of that season, and they came back and rallied back and ended up winning the World Series. I think it just goes to show you what kind of character you have on that team. And that was a veteran team. Everyone's like, oh, they're too old. But no, those guys have been through the fire. They've been through the fire already, and they're able to just calm down, look inside themselves, and piece it all together. It's just I don't know if this is just what the Padres are. Who knows?
Well, is
that the manager's fault? I don't think so. I mean, I think it's at some point as a leader on your team, you got to be able to police your teammates, right? And to be able to push each other, especially when things go south. I just from what I've heard over there, I'm not hearing much of it. And that's before Bob Melvin.
Yeah. So you look at the roster. Who's the guy? There's no guy. Like Soto was 20 years old and they won the World Series, and he had never had the lead. Manny Machado, I don't know if he's a great leader. He's just always been. He's a great player, but I don't know if he's a great leader. Every time I played against him, he looked very disinterested. And then you got Bogart. Xander Bogaerts won World Series a couple of times, but he's never had to be the leader on the team.
Not that I know of. I don't know. I don't know Bogaerts that well. I mean, solid. I heard he's a solid guy, but maybe that's why. And you're so against it, but maybe that's why they traded for Rich Hill. You have that veteran presence in there. I have no idea. So.
Yeah, but when you're getting shelled throwing 89 miles an hour, it doesn't bring much credibility. Like the restarting pitchers like Scherzer. Like he walks in the room, he changes the game, but if he doesn't absolutely dominate, it doesn't carry weight.
Yeah, but some of the best leaders I've had weren't necessarily our guys. Like Jeff Mathis was one of the leaders that we had on our team, and he was incredible, and he was a backup catcher.
Yeah, but he's a backup catcher, so he's always in the conversation in the dugout. Like,
yeah, that's true. So is Rich Hill or any starting pitcher.
Rich Hill don't talk. I promise you that.
I don't know him. I can't say anything. But
this guy's like 50 years old. He just probably needs to go home to his family.
No, he still got it. He still got some in the tank. He's still getting a job. We're sitting here talking about him on a podcast.
We are talking about a podcast. If we could flip curveballs like he could, we'd be out there too.
He got a really good curveball. I mean, Anyways, my point is this: I don't think your leader has to be your dog. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like it's just someone that you respect, like this well respected on the team that when they walk in the room, they have something to say. All ears are listening. I mean, the Cardinals were chock full of that when I was there in 2015. It was incredible between Yachty, Holiday, obviously, Big Dog over there. They're still there. They still have that leadership. It's just not going well for them this year. But that doesn't mean Wainwright's still not the leader of that team. I mean, he's the man over there. But my point is, it doesn't. Even though like a Wainwright isn't having a great year, like I guarantee you, when he speaks, like everyone's locked in. And if they were having a good year,
you just said Adam Wainwright, like Adam Wainwright and Rich Hill. That it's totally different. And Wainwright is the Cardinals. It's not like it's true. Jake Peavy that's been there for 16 years sitting in there, and you walk in like it's Jake Peavy. Like you, Darvish, we both play with you. You doesn't talk.
Yeah, that's true.
Blake Snell, Musgrove. Musgrove's hurt. He can't do anything either. That's a high character guy that I think everyone likes, but he's hurt. It's tough. They're just in a tough situation. It's what happens when you get a team full of superstars. Who's the guy that is the character guy that bonds everyone together? I don't know if they have that.
I guess that was a weak attempt of me trying to justify the move they made. I don't know.
He's got a 10 ERA and 5 starts. He's given up a billion hits, and he got shelled yesterday by the Phillies. They had to bring a knuckleballer in from AAA. It's not a good situation. But they have a chance today because the Phillies have used like 10 relievers in the last 2 days. And Lorenzen has come down to earth today or the last couple starts. So if today's the day for a win for the Padres, it's today.
Yeah, I mean, the Phillies are going to have to put up some runs because, hold on, I'm going to their bullpen usage if I can find it. Here it is. I mean, Bilotti throwing 44 pitches last 3 days. Kimbrel 42. Alvarado 41. I mean, to me, it's going to be Dominguez is going to have to step it up. He's 2 out of the last 3.
Yeah,
and
it starts with Lorenzen.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
If Lorenzen gets knocked out in the 3rd, oh boy.
And this is why these starting pitcher acquisitions at the deadline are so big, because now it's preserving your bullpen. If you get a guy that can go 6-7 innings every outing,
Yeah. September baseball, man. The runs are crazy. It's tension. Like that's why when you had a billion relievers sitting in the bullpen, it always helped. But now you only get a few guys, so you got to get starting pitching that goes deep.
Yep. Let's go back to that Braves Dodgers series.
Yeah, amazing.
That Homer Acuña hit.
Oh,
121 off the bat. A ball painted on the black. Oh, I can't imagine. Especially if you're the pitcher, you just know that the ball was destroyed. I gave up one to Soto last year. That's like 2-0 fastball down and away, and it was so loud. It felt like it just went right over my head and just carried out the center field. And I was like, that was the worst feeling ever.
Have you faced Acuña?
Yeah. I faced him a few times last year, and I did okay against him. I don't remember the results. I just remember I just pounded him in all day. I think I hit him one time by accident, but he'd get frustrated every time we go in there and off the plate just to back him off, just to make him uncomfortable. He hated it.
So, I like it.
But like, I guess I was sitting here, I was watching the homer. At first, I'm like, wow, that ball was crushed. Like if I'm pitching, I'm like, that hurt my feelings a little bit, but we got to bounce back here.
A no-doubter to center field. That's tough.
It's only the 3rd inning, though, so you can move on. But I'm like, if I'm going back and I'm looking at my video of that game, like, how am I dissecting that, I bet? And as a young guy, I mean, the kid's a rookie. With Emmett Sheehan, I think it was. I'm looking at him like, first, if you fall behind elite hitters, you're going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
And secondly, you can't give in to 3-0 against elite hitters. Then, to his credit, he didn't. He actually painted a ball in the black. But I'm like, all right, now I know for sure. Like if I'm falling behind to 3-0 to basically almost anyone in that lineup, the first 5 hitters, like it can get destroyed. And then know the scouting report. Like I guarantee you, and a lot of guys like with their plus stuff, like I'm just going to stick to my what works best for me, and I get it. But at some point, those hitters know your tendencies too. Like you have to be able to pitch to a scouting report.
Right.
And I'm not saying every single waking moment, but in that at bat in particular, he didn't throw inside a single pitch.
Not
All right,
once.
so still early in the game. I didn't see the first at bat.
So let's go over it. He
Yep.
goes breaking ball down and away off the
Yep.
plate. So, and you see his eyes are out there. Next pitch, fastball off the plate. He see
Yep.
him step, eyes are out there again. 2-0 out there again. I mean, if you're going to go 3-0, at least get it down. It wasn't even down. It was belt high. I don't care if it's on the black. This guy's eyes are already out there. He already has elite coverage. I remember in the playoffs in 2020, he took Alcantara 98 miles an hour off the plate to upper deck right field.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to know what happened after that? Drilled.
What?
He got drilled. Right. And then we lost.
That's one
we
way to make him
5-0. We're up 5-0, and he woke up. He poked the bear, and we got our butts kicked.
Poke the bear. No, but seriously, like there's a lesson to be learned there. I remember talking to a guy last year, and he has plus stuff like upper 90s fastball, really good splitty when he has it that day. Like it's great, and it's a decent slider to work off it. But he never threw. At one point, it was like 150 pitches in. He threw in on purpose 6 times, and he's wondering why guys are teeing up a 98 mile an hour fastball that are good pitches. Like, dude, you look at the swings they're taking; they're comfortable. Like you have to learn to pitch in, especially against these elite hitters. You can't be scared to do it. And I feel like as a young guy, like I was a little bit scared to pitch in because, like, oh, if I hit them, they're gonna like, no, that's soft. Like you got to learn to be able to go in there and in with effect, even when especially when you're ahead in the count.
Yeah. So what was it? Shelby Miller was facing him on Sunday, and I thought, and it was not, the count wasn't looking good. He was going fastball, changeup. Changeups were in off at 86. It was acting like a mini sinker. Mm-hmm. And then 3-1, he throws a changeup again, runs in off the plate, and he swings and pops him up. It just shows that in with movement works no matter what, especially to aggressive. I mean, that kid doesn't want it. He don't want to walk. He wants to be the hero. Tying runs out there. It was runner was in scoring position, so all you got to do is get a hit.
Yep, absolutely.
Took advantage of his aggressiveness. The 3-1 combo.
Yep. And then, so there it is, right there, right? 3-1. So here, since we're talking about counts, I pulled up a chart. It's actually from 2015 and 2017, but obviously it still plays today. Just as an example, for you young pitchers, if you're listening, all right, 0-0 count, slugging percentage, 582. When you fall behind 1-0, 603. Fall behind 2-0, 620 or 635. 3-0 count, 818 slug. Oh. Now flip it. 0-1 count when you're ahead, 508 slug. 0-2 count, 235. 1-2 count, 255. You get the idea. You're limiting damage so much more when you pound the zone and get ahead of guys, as opposed to nitpicking and falling behind. And like challenge them early, then you can pick later, right? Because their slug's going to go significantly down because now you're making, you're getting them to fish off the plate, or you can just make them uncomfortable by getting ahead, pound a fastball and miss on purpose. 1-1 count's super important, probably the most important count in baseball. Because what happens if you fall behind to a 2-1 count? 583 slug. If you get ahead at a 1-2 count, 255 slug.
Oh wow.
Isn't that crazy? That's how important a 1-1 count is, or a 0-0 to 0-1 count, or 1-0 count. It's incredible. All right, on one.
That's why getting ahead 0-0. I mean, from 0-0 to 0-1. If you guys swings first pitch, who cares? Like, I hate how everyone's so scared of it. Well, he's the first, like, scouting reports, super aggressive first pitch swinger. Me and you are like perfect. Oh, this guy might be out on one pitch, and everyone else is like, "Oh, we got to go breaking ball because he's going to swing first pitch." Like, why? Why he's going to swing?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if you can dot a breaking ball, if you're comfortable doing that, then why not?
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I mean, lefties, because everyone's like, "Oh, you're a sidearm pitcher. You can't get lefties out." I'm like, okay. So what do? Like, I think I had a 10% swing percentage on 0-0 sliders from lefties. So if I had a good slider that day, I could drop in for a strike. It was an automatic get ahead pitch. They ain't swinging at it. And if they do, they typically would beat it into the ground.
Yeah, so, it's a rollover if they do that.
Yeah. So know your stuff, especially with the elite stuff nowadays, and know who you're facing because especially OO count, you know a guy's a first pitch hacker. Me and you were like, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Know where his weak spot is. If his weak spot matches with your strength, then just pound the daylights out of that right away.
And know who's on deck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because then you can choose your battle, right? If it's a big situation.
I'll take whoever's hitting behind. Who's hitting behind Acuña these days?
Albies.
Freaking breaking ball in the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, it was
unless he's hitting right-handed. He's right-handed. He's Babe Ruth right-handed. But if he's hitting left-handed, take my chances all day.
Right. It was this particular bat was the third inning, but it just got me thinking. Maybe I'm over analytical, but I mean, kind of helped us, I guess, in our career. But it's like, man, you know, what do I learn from each at bat? You know, especially the failure at bats. The success ones. I want to know I want to watch video when I have success when I don't feel well and see what the difference is when I give it up and I feel great. You know what I mean? Because if I'm not feeling well, getting out, it's boom. Yeah.
Just change. Let's just say he throws a little two-seamer that starts middle in and then it runs off. Guarantee you he's swinging and it's ground ball shortstop.
Yep. I mean, that chart's crazy though. Anyways, that's my rant.
Yeah.
That's my rant.
Those numbers are nuts.
Yeah. Hey, so let's touch on the league real quick, and then I got a question that was asked on here it's actually a series of questions. So
I'm looking at Toronto. Toronto's a little outside, but their bullpen, like we talked about it last week, their bullpen usage is just nuts. It's not sustainable. They used the other day on Saturday or Sunday, used 1, 2, 3, 6 guys again. No, 5 guys. And then they used 4 guys the next day. So now they don't have their closer today. They're going to have to use Hicks as a closer, which isn't terrible.
He's been throwing great. Your bullpen's gotten good. I mean, they just
use a lot.
Like the Cardinals got rid of Genesis Cabrera, and he's been tearing it up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, just a change of scenery for guys is just all they need typically, you know?
Well, when you feel wanted, I'm sure with the Cardinals, a lot of negativity going on because it's a team that's supposed to be really good and they're not winning. And now you feel the pressure when you come in. You just don't feel wanted anymore. And you go to somewhere else where they just love you and you're just there to win games and just do your job.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Did you see the Twins the other day? This kid was in the extra innings and he throws a fastball behind. Actually, it was a changeup. And it goes behind the hitter and they lost the game because of this. Like, what? Who are we putting in the game? They can't throw a pitch over the plate in extra innings.
I don't have room to speak, so I'm going to let you rant on that one. I once lost a game on an intentional wild pitch.
That's hard for you though, because you have to throw it over.
Oh, dude. Oh, I learned that day because I've never really done that. And of course I have the yips, you know, throwing it easy. I have no feel. Do. I learned that day to not lob it in there anymore. So I just let it rip. So to really put me to the test 2 years late. No. Yeah. So the WBC, that was 2011, WBC's 2013. And I have to intentionally walk, my first 2, for whatever reason, Tori brought me in. I had to intentionally walk the first hitter in first 2 of my outings with a runner, the go-ahead run. I think it was on third base or like.
Oh my gosh!
So if I let one eat, I'm doing it against. You know, if I let one fly, I'm losing the game again or giving it up. So, like, nope, that's it. I'm not doing that anymore. I just threw darts in there. That's the best way to go. I was a huge advocate. Sorry, go ahead.
I would pay money to see you have to intentionally walk someone and you lost the game and you sell it to the backstop.
I just keep pitching after that. We were the home team in Seattle.
He blew the lead and still had to pull it together.
The Florida Marlins booked their stadium out for like a Bon Jovi concert. So we had to fly to Seattle, be the home team. So I'm in Seattle as the home team. I sail one, and then I have to finish the inning. And like after the game, we lost, of course. John Buck was just ripping me out on the bus, like just ragging on me, like brutal. And I was so mad. It's so embarrassed at the same time. There's so many emotions running through.
That's terrible.
It was
that's
rightfully
terrible.
So. It was tough. Being a rookie.
Speaking of the Twins, they used 8 relievers in a game the other day.
Yeah. That's not a good recipe for longevity.
No, and they have decent guys. I just don't like their bullpen at all. They're just like everyone else. Just try to get the starter out as fast as you can.
It's like college baseball over again. My college coach would appreciate this. He's like, short leash, and your starting pitcher doesn't seem to have it in the third inning. He gone.
Yeah. Like, God forbid if we let this person mature during this outing and learn something about himself.
That's right.
Look at the Astros. The Presley hasn't pitched since Wednesday, so that's great for them.
Did you see the curveball he threw? It was like 3,500. I'm not big into the spin rate stuff, but that was pretty sick.
I remember when I signed a minor league deal with the Twins in 16, and I thought I was like competing against him, and I'm watching this guy throw a bullpen. I'm like, how am I supposed to outbeat this guy in this stuff? Like, it was ridiculous.
And he really took off though when he went to Houston. No, I mean he was good with the Twins. But
yeah,
he went on like a 30-something inning scoreless streak with the Astros.
He got to Houston, and they just probably like Minnesota was more about fastball command, and that's just not his thing. He wants to go there and just throw his slider and curveball and occasional fastball. So I think they just let him buy into what he wanted to do more.
Yep.
And he's taken off ever since. Great move by them.
Totally. By the way, Houston's creeping. They're creeping on the Mariners. Mariners are hot. They're still 6-4 last 10. But Houston's just hanging around.
We talked about that road trip. They lost a series of the Mets, and they lost the first one in Cincinnati. So what do they got today?
Tough.
They got
tell me.
The Miller guy against looks like some guy making his major league debut, which can go either way. But the Reds used 6 relievers yesterday, so they're in a good spot. Yeah, this guy's making his major league debut.
No. Who is it?
Connor Phillips.
Okay.
He had 25 starts in the minors.
Yeah, but for the Reds, I mean, at least they got Alexis Diaz. He'll be hot today. If they can just
he hasn't been doing very well.
He's still their guy, though.
Yeah, he's still their guy. Whether he's 1, 2, 6 relievers yesterday. So 2 of them are down. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are down for sure today.
Yeah. Sims, by the way, I see that name. Was it him? It was like one of the greatest videos ever. It was like a rain. They're getting poured on. And the umpire's throwing the ball, and he just keeps launching it in the dugout.
Yeah, he's throwing it out.
That's incredible. They'll never get old to me. Anyways.
Brewers are looking good, but yeah, so Mariners are hanging around. Mariners, this told you this test, and then they got to go to 4 to Tampa. So who are the Astros playing? I think the Astros are playing the Rangers.
Yep.
So the Astros can put them out of their misery. Oh, Uvalde's back though today.
Is he? Oh, Nate's the man, dude. He's so good. Now he's a guy.
Uvalde versus
he just pounds the zone.
Franmir or whatever. So, big game for the Rangers.
Valdez.
Yeah. Yep. With no bullpen. They have no bullpen. Oh, my gosh. It's just like they get up 19 home runs, I think, this month.
Wow. I saw oh, man, I'm going to draw a blank, of course, right now. Who hit the walk-off homer the other night?
Oh, Diaz? Is that his name?
No.
For the Rangers?
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Was
that
it
his name? Diaz?
No, I don't think it is. But anyways, he crushed the ball. As soon as the ball left his bat, he just looked to the sky and someone said, "It's amazing how hitters know as soon as they connect, it's just game over."
Garcia.
And he's like, he was 3. Garcia, yeah, Adolis Garcia. Thank you. I'm trying to blank. And he was like 3. He's into his 3rd phase of his home run celebration before the announcer said he was gone. It was incredible. But he also struck out 4 times prior to that and then just absolutely hit a nuke. So that's going to be the greatest feeling ever.
You strike out 4 times and you just pimped a living. I guess on a walk-off, you can do whatever you want.
It's a walk-off, for sure. I don't have
Giving
a problem
up a walk-off homer
if it's firing your team up. He was holding
road.
the Rangers jersey like this. It was sick. It was sick. I would have been fired up.
Oh, for sure. I would have lost my mind if I ever hit a walk-off. But look,
right.
once again, the Twins used 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was the Rangers. The Rangers used 5 relievers that day too. I don't like it. They're in trouble.
When you're hanging on, you got to find any way possible to win.
I mean,
The
they got
good
the
news
right guy.
is
They got the right manager.
the good news is their starting pitching will go deep. You know, you got Max will go deep. Montgomery will go deep. You got actually, I didn't realize this. Yeah, Evaldi's back.
Jonathan
He'll go
Gray.
deep. And I didn't know Martin Perez was put in the bullpen. He's been in there for a little while now. I guess ever since the trade deadline, obviously. But I forgot about that. So that's a pretty solid guy if you need to eat up innings as well. Unfortunately, he's thrown 2 out of his last 3 though. So
so he's down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dr. Max, he'll go deep sometimes. If Dr. Max, you see, he took himself out of the game, and the way he talks, I could have gone to the 7th, but I didn't want to. I felt a little fatigue. I didn't want to turn it into a strain. He's such an idiot.
You just had him on air. You can't call him an idiot.
But the way he always talks about himself. So I was
he knows
feeling
his body
this.
better than anyone, man.
I was feeling this, and I know it's just not it's maybe a grade 1, but so it's nothing to be worried about. So I think I'll be okay.
It's a guy that's been through the fire. He doesn't want to turn into a grade 2.
But he'll probably miss his next start or something, and then Dr. Max will be on the mic again.
Dr. Max.
You should see him do his neck workouts because he always had neck problems. The guy would put a towel around his head, and he'd always have to just bob. It was the funniest stuff ever. The most random things you never saw.
Maybe that's what I needed to do to keep me alive for a season of baseball. That's so brutal. My neck sucks.
Have a guy put a towel around your head, and you do neck workouts like this.
Like he's Mike Tyson?
Yeah, pretty much. Like he's training to be a boxer.
Well, hey, let's get to these questions here.
Okay.
We already covered he wanted to ask Alan here wanted to ask how we end up playing in different places. Obviously trades, but he was more intrigued about free agent signing. So do you leave it to your agent totally, or do you have places you really wanted to play and so on? Like how much, what kind of hand do you have in the negotiating or where you want to play and stuff like that? You can go first.
I think it only depends what kind of level free agent you are. When we go free agents, some of us are just hoping for jobs. I think only one time I had a choice. In 2018, I had a choice between Washington or the Rangers. And it would be the exact same contract, go close in Texas or go back to Washington where we just went to the playoffs. And I thought we were 100% win the World Series in 2018. And I loved it there. So that was the only opportunity I had to pick where I wanted to go. But the other places is just oh my gosh, can the phone ring? I had no choice. But if you gave me a choice, I would pick West Coast, obviously.
Yep.
What about you?
I had a mix of both. So my agent always asked me for a top 5 list of teams I would want to play for and an absolutely no chance list 5 of teams. And so we would do that pretty much every year. And I'd give him my 5 to 10 and everything else in between was yeah, probably. But that list got and not that it was anything special, but it did kind of narrow a little bit based on family. I didn't want to, if I had an option, it was like if in a hypothetical situation, one of these 5 teams would call, which one do you want first type of thing. So it worked out well. We my first year when I signed with the Mariners, they were pretty much my only option, and I knew they were going to give me the closing role, and I wanted that again. I wanted to be able to experience that again and go to a team that had a big playoff drought. And I thought it was a good team. We just missed the playoffs by a game or 2. But anyways, the next year the next time through, I got traded to Tampa. So I was a free agent and I wanted to go back there, but then the Cubs, they were out and the Cubs and Twins were basically back and forth and the Nats, but the Nats dropped out. So it was between the Cubs and Twins. It was a very similar deal. And I was like, oh man, I can't say no to the Cubs. It's Chicago Cubs, and they just won a World Series 2 years prior, and I'm this is my shot. And so that was my big one, I think. And then after that, I was just who's offering me a deal.
I remember I was trying to talk you out of the White Sox, because I knew it was between me and you for the White Sox for probably their last job for that money. I'm like, come on, Steve, just go somewhere else. You don't want to go to Chicago,
dude. I forgot about that. Yeah. That was awkward.
Literally between me and you, like of all people, like come on.
Yeah, but it worked out better for you. You got to pitch in the playoffs.
Yeah, I
The
did.
White Sox made it to the playoffs too that year, but they got
Well, it just sucked because it was COVID. It didn't matter what we signed for. We got a third of what we signed for, so that sucked.
Right. Oh, and the White Sox I thought were going to be pretty good too, so I couldn't say no to that. They were really good actually in 2020, and in 2021 they should have been even better than they were, but
they just ran into Liam Hendricks, and they got Liam Hendricks paid by them because he just was basically the only guy that pitched against them.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, you kind of do have a say, I guess. If you have like a really good season, and you know teams are kind of bidding for your, for your
leverage, and you're young, and you're that top free agent. And it's crazy thing. Like Max told me when he was a free agent, he got like 0 offers, and all he had was Washington. He goes, and then everyone thought he was going to blow out, so he really didn't get many options. It's crazy.
It is crazy. I remember my actually initially when I was a young player, the Cubs weren't on my list because all they played was day games. I hated day games.
Yeah,
I'd never want to play for the Cubs. And then as I got older and got up earlier and stopped being a baby, I was like, I would love to play for the Cubs.
That was tough at first when I got traded there to adjust to that Friday day game thing. That was tough.
Yeah, it is. But once you get used to it, it's awesome.
Yeah. Once you figure out a routine, you get to go out and have dinner in Chicago. Oh, perfect.
Totally. Especially I had, 2 girls and get to go home to them every day. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then he asked me personally, how come you never came to play for the Red Sox? I tried for 3 years, dude. I tried for 3 years. Chaim Bloom was like, I'm good. I don't want to put you in, whatever. So, Alan, I tried to play for the Red Sox for like 3 years. Peter Gammons, he lives in my hometown, right next door to it. And so he would like try to put in a word every now and then, like it's a college or something, and never worked out.
Like that guy's bullpen usage, or he picked like last year I was trying so hard. 2 years I was trying hard to get there, and he's like, well, we're just going to use what we have in AAA. Like he's just, the guy picks
I was like, dude,
pitchers.
I know. I was like, I'll play for you for nothing. I just want to have the experience and like play for my hometown,
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I was coming. I've had like a bad year, and then I threw pretty well in 2021. Still nothing, I was like, well, forget this.
Yeah. You didn't fit their metrics that he brought over from Tampa, so
yeah,
whatever it said.
Crazy. And by the way, I pitched for him in Tampa, and I threw I had my best 2 months of my career. That's a crazy thing. So I don't know. He just doesn't like old pitchers, I guess.
Yeah, I guess not. Except for he likes Kenley, I guess.
That's true. He has a better track record than me. What?
Kenley does not look good right now. His arm angle is looking weird. He got hurt the other day. I think he left the game with like some kind of leg injury. Like it just doesn't look good.
Before we get off air, I'm going to look up those stats. I guess I haven't looked at him in a while. But last time I saw, he was throwing Chet.
I don't
like back to his old self.
He might be getting away with it, but it doesn't look good.
Kenley Jansen. I mean, he's got a 1.19 WHIP, 3.02 ERA.
I know. I'm saying he might be getting away with it.
Okay, his last 7 games, 284. All right. Anyways, I just like to try to prove you wrong. Naysayer over here.
I watched it though. I'm like, wow, he got away with one. 119 for Kenley Jansen isn't great. It means he's getting away with it because he's supposed to punch people out.
That's true, kind of. But hey, you know better than everyone that you need a defense behind him. Okay, so you can.
That was my specialty. That's not his specialty.
Maybe it is now. He's an older pitcher.
Oh God.
Verlander's not putting away guys like he used to, but
he looks bad.
Well,
his breaking ball, his off speed is rolling in there.
Last game was a bad example, but he's still a formidable pitcher.
He does not look
still
good.
Really good. That'll be all right.
He must have been tired. His baby must have kept him up that night because man, his breaking ball was just rolling in there.
Stanton hit an absolute missile off him.
It looked like New York knew exactly what was coming. If they threw a breaking ball, they were just so excited for it.
Yeah, well, he's still Verlander.
So there's some big series coming up this week. That'll lead us to next week. So I'm interested to see what our standings are going to be, what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, man.
And if we're going to be right.
Yep. And I think we're gonna try next week, hopefully, to get AJ Ramos on too. And he's
Oh yeah,
awesome. Man, talk about learning a process. We got to ask him all those questions. What his process was. He's an animal, so it'd
yeah.
be
That
good
guy
for the
was.
young listeners.
I remember seeing that guy in the fall league 2010, I think, or 11, whatever. I think it was 10, maybe 11.
Yeah.
But that guy was unreal. And then
Yep.
I was there
He's
for his
really.
major league debut against Milwaukee. I think he struck out the side.
That's right. He did. Yep. We're fired up.
I was like,
So
oh, I knew I was right about that guy. He just
yeah,
couldn't stay
he's
healthy.
bad shoulder. The shoulder
Yeah.
piece got him. Tough to recover from. All right, brother.
All right. So, anyways, let's get a follow and subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, whatever you guys want. But hit up AJ Ramos if you guys have any questions, or hit us up. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week.